In this video, I'm going to talk about Connor Murphy and is he really enlightened or is he just crazy? So let's talk about a little bit about who he is and what he does. So first of all, Connor Murphy is or was a famous YouTube influencer, fitness influencer. So he would post tons of fitness content, and that's how he got famous. So he got the girls and the money and the fame. So he basically got all the things that society tells you that you should get and that you will get be happy then. And then he realized he in fact isn't happy, and he was depressed, really depressed, because it's different than the normal depression, because then you can always blame it on, oh, I don't have the money, or I don't have the girls, or of the fame and status. But in his case, he actually did have everything he wanted, and he was still depressed. And that's the thing, that he was depressed meant that he's more depressed, because when you're depressed and you don't feel a way out, like you can't get something, when you're depressed and you think like, okay, I can still be better if I get this or that. But he came to a point where it feels like there is nothing that can help you, and there is nothing that can make you happy. So he started learning about spirituality and Buddhism, and he started to go into psychedelics, because psychedelics are, people think that psychedelics can enlighten you and that you can find peace with psychedelics. And so he blasted like crazy with psychedelics, and he had an awakening, and that led him to where he is now. And now he is talking about his YouTube spirituality guru, and he talks about enlightenment and God and all these sorts of things. Also, as well, he did a 40-day no eating challenge, uh, that he was inspired by Jesus himself, and he also practices eating his own semen and yeah, his poop and piss. Well, I don't know how much, if that is true, or is he even faking that, but that's what he claims. So he started doing this weird shit, and people think now that there are tons of people that think that he's crazy because he's weird, and he's like he started golfing, and he's training for the US Open and stuff. So yeah, he basically started doing some weird shit, and tons of people think that he is crazy. And because tons of people who do know him for his fitness journey, and now they see some crazy dude who is eating his own semen and poop, and he's talking about God and doing drugs. And then there is some of his followers that actually believe that he is in fact enlightened, and think that his actions are good and that his actions are helping them in some way. So what most people don't realize somehow is that he is acting. He says in his videos, he disclaims, I am acting, and all of this is an act. And what happens is that most people like fly over it and think he's acting, he's for real, and therefore they think that, oh, he is crazy and he has disorders and whatever. But what really happened is that he went through his awakening experience with perhaps psychedelics and meditation, who knows, and now he is trying to spread mental health awareness in the YouTube community, and he's trying to enlighten people. But I don't think he realizes that he, in fact, isn't enlightening people, and maybe he is spreading some awareness around mental health. But with his teaching, he is not spreading the knowing through teaching, but he's spreading the teaching as the biggest value. He is leading his own religion. When I try to teach and spread the teaching, I'm not trying to make you believe in the teaching and say, okay, you are God and everything is God and we are all one and all that. I'm not trying to give you a precise answer, although I sometimes do give you an answer, but I'm trying to point you, I'm trying to give you a path with my teaching. My teaching is the path. He, he is presenting his teaching as the goal. Because he's popular and famous, he's trying to then spread the teaching to as many people, but he doesn't notice that he's famous for being a fitness influencer. He's not famous for being a spiritual teacher. So basically all of his followers don't have any clue what he's talking about and are only interested in him being shirtless with girls. So when he talks about God and when he talks about spirituality, he's not achieving anything by acting weird and acting in general. Like, he is putting on a show, he's acting because he thinks that that's what will get him attention. And yeah, that might get him attention in his circle, but but he won't get anything out of that attention because, like I said, most people don't understand where he's coming from and what even is he trying to explain and teach. I mean, approaches to teaching are perspectival and completely subjective, so you can't really say his approach is wrong and my approach is right, and he shouldn't be weird and he shouldn't do weird stuff and spread the teaching in that way, and he should only spread the teaching in my way. Of course, you can't say that because there is no right way. I can only say from my perspective that he isn't even getting that what he wants. He isn't even spreading teaching as to as wide as possible, to as many people as possible. And for them, it's his teaching is only religion. The people who seem to be interested, like a couple percent from his followers that are interested, they, from my observation, it seems like they're only taking it on as beliefs, and he doesn't realize that he didn't get his awakening by someone explaining it to him, but he got his experience from blasting on psychedelics. So he's trying to he's trying to enlighten you with his teaching, but not noticing that how he got enlightened is not the same, and that he doesn't realize that he might not be able to guide you with only logic and with his words. Words are limited. Like when he says everything is God, you don't realize what he's really saying because we all have different notions of what is God. Like, people immediately imagine some guy in the clouds, and they all have their stories of words. So when he talks about God and Jesus and everything, he is only it seems like he is only spreading religion. I personally think that to show you the truth, first I want to show you what is fantasy and what is falsehood. If you realize what is fantasy, and if you take on what I try to preach, meditation and contemplation, you can know the truth without all of my concepts and without me saying, "Oh, it's all consciousness," and everything you experience is consciousness. Like, I don't need to show you the end result. I can show you the path, and with the path, you can get the result for yourself, and that's how the results really matter. If you don't get answers for yourself, and if you only take it as beliefs and as thoughts in your mind, if God is only a thought in your mind, then obviously it doesn't matter. His religion doesn't matter. And yeah, I know you could say that, oh, you're a hypocrite because you as well talk about consciousness. You just use different style and different words than him. And yes, I'm not saying that he can't use the word God and he can't talk about God and consciousness. It is in fact also useful to have some concepts, because if you're going into meditation and contemplation, you want to have a map how to go, or if you want to go on a path, you want to have a map that will guide you through the path. So I'm not against maps, and I'm not against concepts at all. I am against using the maps as the goal instead of as the path. I'm not trying to give you some beliefs and convert you to my religion or anything. I'm trying to point you to what is. And obviously, in communication, words are necessary for that. Through limited words, I can speak so much. You can't do you can't communicate everything because words are limited. So you have to do the work, and you have to see for yourself and transcend through the words. And so, to conclude, is he in fact enlightened, or is he crazy? Well, obviously he isn't crazy, because no one diagnosed him with anything. So is he enlightened then? Well, what is enlightenment? Enlightenment is a concept, and concepts are purely subjective and perspectival. So enlightenment, in other words, isn't real. Enlightenment is paradoxical in nature, because a person can't get enlightened, because for a person to get enlightened, the person needs to realize that there is no person. So how does a person realize that there is no person? Realize that it's conceptually impossible, it's paradoxical. But enlightenment is not something which happens to a person, because it can't happen to a person. It's more like consciousness being, by consciousness realizing itself. Maybe you can say through a person. And why does that question even matter? Is he enlightened? Well, hopefully it should matter to you, like, well, that's helping me then. If I watch his teaching and if I buy into his teaching, then it can help me to know if he is talking from knowing the truth, or if he is talking from beliefs. But realize that it doesn't matter if he's talking from the truth or beliefs, if you are using his teaching as beliefs. If you listen to him talking about meditation, and I don't know if he's talking about contemplating, but hopefully, if you use the method, it doesn't matter what his teaching is and what his religion is. It doesn't matter if he talks about God and Jesus and whatever. Don't focus too much on him. It only matters what you take out of it, what you take out of watching his videos. Try to deconstruct the question, is he enlightened? Because that question, when you realize where it's coming from and when you realize what it truly means, that then answers the question itself. The question kinda disappears. And yeah, that's it. That's it for this one. Take take a look at his work and judge for yourself, or better put, don't judge. There is no need for judging at all. Like, why is there need for judging? Person can't be enlightened. Reality, part of reality can't be enlightened. So there is no need for judging this part. Realize that judging and saying that something or someone is enlightened means that you are putting boundaries, like, and conclusions, and you're saying this person is enlightened, this one is not. Enlightenment is being, everyone is enlightened. Enlightenment is what is, just the person can realize enlightenment, realize the being which is underneath everything, or the person can realize that there is no person. But yeah, that's enough for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and yeah, subscribe if you know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.